Captain Matt Holston, 26 years. Chief Scott McCullers, 30 years. Chief David Morris, 34 years. Chief Drew Wade, 40 years. Thank you all for your service and being here with us today. Now, please welcome our Director of Public Safety, Chief John Robinson.
Man, this is awesome. Thank you. What a great crowd. Fantastic. Thanks again to the retirees for being here and continuing to be a part of our family. This is one of my favorite days when we get to recognize and promote people that are just doing a great job and have earned an opportunity like this. You know, one of the things I've learned over the years in leadership is that people that normally are good at their jobs, top performers like the 13 that we're recognizing today, they're usually very passionate about what they do. They have a fire inside them about their profession, about the people they serve with, the people they're serving in the community. And you can also say the same thing about really effective leaders. Those in leadership roles, typically the ones that are good at it are passionate about it. They're passionate about the people they lead. They're passionate about the people they serve. And I think that's definitely a common thread that we see today with our folks that we're promoting. You know, some of the greatest examples in our history as a country of leaders were so influential because they were passionate. They were passionate about helping others. They were passionate about making the world a better place. They were passionate about their personal convictions. Think about just this Monday, we remembered MLK, and he was passionate about civil rights. Mahatma Gandhi was passionate about freeing his people from a British Empire. Mother Teresa was passionate about serving the poorest of the poor. Abraham Lincoln was passionate about freeing slaves. Nelson Mandela was passionate about fighting apartheid. Another passionate, very successful, and very rich leader who is no longer with us, Steve Jobs, one time said in a commencement speech at Stanford University, he said, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied in what you do is to believe what you do is great work." And I love this. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. That's awesome. And it's so true. And I think that sometimes separates the good employees from the great ones, is those that really love what they do and have that passion that we're talking about, that passion we see in these 13 men today that we're recognizing. And guys, I just want to encourage you, don't ever lose that. Don't let anybody ever take that away from you. Trust me, there are days you wake up where you're more passionate than others, I can assure you. But don't let anybody ever take that fire from you. You're being promoted today for a lot of reasons, and part of that is because you are passionate about your job. You're passionate about this profession. And again, you're passionate. You love the people that you serve. I mean, look at this room. Look at the love in the room and the support. That is so representative of who you are and what you stand for. And so as you think about maintaining that through the years ahead, you know, one of the ways that you can always make sure that you keep that fire lit and keep that passion going is to always be growing. Don't ever stop growing. You're moving into a new level now in your profession, in your career. And now more than ever, you need to have a growth mindset. This should be the beginning of even more growing and more learning and more willingness to expand yourself beyond something you've never done before. And so growing can always help ensure that you keep that passion, even on those days where, like I said, it can be tough. You know, if you grew up in the South like I did, you're pretty familiar with kudzu. Yes, I'm going to talk about kudzu for a minute. For those that don't know about kudzu, if you're from the North and just haven't really had a chance to get to know it like most of us have, it's a plant that is almost impossible to stop. And I learned something actually recently. We created this in the 30s and 40s to help farmers. They wanted to help slow down erosion, so they created this kudzu to help farmers in their planting and keeping erosion at bay. But unfortunately, it worked a little better than they expected. And so by the 50s, it was considered a pest weed, and they couldn't get rid of it. And guess what? Drive through some back roads of Georgia, and you'll still see it today. They still can't get rid of it. It now will overtake plants. It will kill trees. It is the unstoppable vine. It never stops growing. Kudzu never stops growing. And that's my challenge to you today, gentlemen. don't ever stop growing. Don't ever lose that desire to be better at what you do and to make sure that you keep that passion and that fire inside of you. When you look at really good leaders, they are passionate about a healthy culture. They're passionate about the people they serve. They're passionate about putting other people ahead of themselves. And they're always growing and getting better and learning how to do that. So as you take on your new role today, take it on with a growth mindset. And how do you do that? Just a couple quick things. You don't ever stop learning. You always keep training. You always keep working to make yourself better. There's that phrase, make yourself better, make us better. Keep looking for ways to be innovative. You know, just this week, we're really in the conversation now about a fire academy that we're doing. And listen, for an agency our size, a mid-sized agency, we don't do this. We don't do fire academies. But I love it because it's innovative. It's outside the box. We see a problem, and we're doing something about it. But what I especially love is when I go around the stations and I talk to people and say, what do you think about this? You're fixing to have to work a lot more. This is a tremendous challenge, and everybody's excited and passionate about it. I love that. That's what we need more of in our profession, is we need people that are willing to think outside the box with a growth mindset of how we can always make it better, regardless of what that may look like, regardless of whether we've ever tried it before or not. So don't ever lose that mentality. A lot of the guys here today are a big part of what we're doing with this academy. And again, it serves as a great example of having a growth and innovative mindset. Also, constantly evaluate yourself. You're going to be in a position where you're evaluating others. Many of you will be in your new roles as leaders. But don't ever lose sight of the importance of constantly evaluating yourself. Set your goals for yourself as a leader very high, almost unreachable, and then constantly check yourself. And the best way to know if you're being successful as a leader is by your people, the people that serve under you, the people you serve under, the people you serve with. Always use them as a barometer. Always be willing to listen, to know that you are striving to meet that goal and grow and get better as you do a self-evaluation. Also, hang out and connect with passionate people, all right? Hang out with those people, connect with those people, spend time with those people that are going to help you grow and going to help keep that fire lit. We all need those people in our life. Stay away from the people, and you know who they are, that want to dampen that fire, that want to take away that enthusiasm that you feel today. Those are the kind of people we need to kind of disconnect from as much as we can. John Gordon, who's a famous leadership author, calls them energy vampires. We all got them around us. Stay away from the energy vampires. Connect and hang out with the people that are going to make you better, and they're going to help keep you excited and going to help keep you on task and growing and having a vision for making yourself and the agency better. Always do that. And then finally, and if you've been here, you've heard me talk about purpose. I'm a big believer that to be an effective leader, a culture-oriented, making your people first leader, you got to lead with purpose. You got to come to work every day knowing your why, and your why should somehow be about your people. Leaders that lead with purpose have passion, and they have a growth mindset, and they always have that fire ignited. So don't ever lose sight of the importance in your new roles and whatever roles may come ahead later on in your life, that you do it with purpose, that you come to work knowing what your why is. You know, before I took this job in 2017, I never really had much contact with fire beyond, out on accidents and things like that and certain calls, and didn't know a lot about the fire culture. So I've had the privilege the last 6 years of learning a lot about fire, and it's been great. It's been phenomenal. I've learned so many things. You guys really can cook. It's quite amazing how good you are at that. But more importantly than that, what I've learned is the pride and passion you have for your profession is like none other. And that is so cool. That to me is one of the things that when I walk away from my career one day, I will always appreciate about fire, is just that perspective of a love for a profession, a love for a calling, a love for serving others that I don't think you can find many of the places in our society. It's extremely admirable. You, the 13 of you that are where you are today, the passion and the commitment and the pride that you have in this organization and you have for your people is what's helped get you here. Now use that passion, use that pride to take it to a new level, to take your leadership to a new level, and to take us to a new level. What do I always finish with in these promotion speeches? Make us better. We are counting on the 13 men today that are being promoted to make this great agency even better. Gentlemen, congratulations to your families. Thank you. We appreciate your support. They're not here today without you. And so thank you for your passion and your support of your loved ones in making this happen. Enjoy your day, and then go make us better. Thanks.
Now I get to do the fun stuff. All right. This is awesome. This really is. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Today is a very special day, and not just for those being honored, and for the entire organization. The promotions we're celebrating are partially a recognition of their past accomplishments, but they're also very much a look into our future. And knowing who's coming up here today to be celebrated, today our future is very bright. Each of the honorees was asked to identify someone in the department who had a large impact on them and played a significant role in their professional development. The bios I'm going to read as they're walking up were written by that chosen person. So I'd like to ask you to hold your applause until the end, until I indicate, so that the people being celebrated can hear what was written about them. Thank you. Fire apparatus engineer. The role of the fire apparatus engineer is to be the driver of the rig and the expert with all the equipment on it. But more than that, it's a position of leadership. The engineer is the technical expert, the senior man or the senior woman, and they serve as the bridge between the firefighters and the officers. Sometimes it is absolutely the most fun position in the department, and sometimes it is the most unenviable position in the department. But it is always a position of extreme importance. These boots that you see over here to my left go by multiple names: day boots, three-quarter boots, hip boots, and they started to become popular in the fire service around 100 years ago. Back then, they were paired with a thigh-length bunker coat and were used for fire suppression activities. Today, they're not really used to fight fire as much anymore, but they are a great representation of the role of the fire apparatus engineer. You're still very much a doer, a worker, one of the most critical jobs on the fire scene. However, you've now taken a step back. You're no longer the nozzleman. You're now responsible for helping focus, grow, and develop the next nozzleman. Your role is now skilled technician and part leader. Unfortunately, even the strong and storied tradition of the fire department was not enough to prevent supply chain issues. So our engineers will receive their day boots as soon as they arrive. Sorry, guys. So again, I'll ask that you hold your applause till the end. Chris Brown. From the time that Chris got hired with Alpharetta until now, he has been a positive and motivating individual. Chris shows exceptional attention to detail in all aspects of the job. Chris's service to the country from the U.S. Navy to Gwinnett County and now in Alpharetta demonstrates his commitment to serving others. Chris prides himself in being the best possible firefighter, whether he's borrowing another crew's hose line to extinguish a fire, or whether he's instructing live fire drills at the State Academy or here in Alpharetta. Chris, good luck in your next endeavor as an engineer. I'm proud of you and know you will do a great job. Love you, brother. Ryan Griffin. Speaking as an incident commander, Griff is the guy you want on your scene. He's intelligent, he's passionate, he's talented, he has the skills to be able to carry out whatever task you give him, and he has the analytical mind to be able to look at things from a different perspective and make suggestions that you hadn't even thought of. He's someone who truly understands the team-based nature of the fire department, and he's committed to doing everything he can to helping the whole team succeed. Although you do have to keep an eye on him to make sure he's not joyriding a hydraulic loading dock lift. Ask him about that. He's a loving husband to Callie, a devoted father to Patrick and Josie, and he makes killer sauteed cabbage. Sean Griffin. There's a sleeping giant inside every person, and Sean is no different. Although having been in Alpharetta for a while now and having worked for almost a decade with another department, Sean's sleeping giant has awoken. He has finally seen the potential in himself that... Just get comfortable. That's all right. There we go. Right on. All right. Well, now that the tension's been broken, we're all at ease, right? He has finally seen the potential in himself that many of us already knew. His vast knowledge of the fire service and previous experience will serve him well as he moves into his new role as an engineer. He spoke of his desire to share his knowledge with others, and with the utmost confidence, he will inevitably do just that, bringing our department's skill level just that much higher. There's nowhere else but up for Sean, and we are all excited to see him flourish. Kyle Quakenbush, I apologize. I remember first speaking with Quack on his first day here in Alpharetta back in 2018. I was just trying to give him some solid advice on how to ease the transition from his previous department to ours. I told him 3 things he should do while he was on his probationary period. Keep your head down, keep your mouth shut, and don't bring attention to yourself. And if you know Quack, you know he did absolutely none of these things. As a matter of fact, he did just the opposite. After a couple of weeks, our then Captain Garreau, came to me and asked if I would take a more defined role with Quack and show him the way the City of Alpharetta Fire expects us to perform around the station, on calls, and in public, which is different than most departments. To be honest, I was a little reluctant because I was not sure how this would end up. But I agreed, and after a couple of months and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, not only did I gain a great friend in Kyle, but the City of Alpharetta gained a great firefighter. In his time here with Alpharetta Fire, the growth and maturity that he has acquired to become a reliable and trusted employee is evident, as it has allowed him to expand his roles within the logistics department and as an assistant fire marshal. As he moves into his new role as a fire apparatus engineer, I'm proud to stand beside him today and know that he will exceed all expectations in this new role, just as he has done before. Richard Zabala. Upon starting in Alpharetta, Pito was assigned to the busiest engine in the city and immediately showed his professionalism, his dedication, and his care for the job. He was already a seasoned firefighter, but always took the time to learn and listen from his crew, along with teaching his crew different techniques in the field of firefighting. When the time came, Pito started learning to drive and pump an engine. He spent countless hours learning the operation of the engine, the pump, and everything else it takes to make a pump operator successful. With his completion of fire apparatus operator, Pito wanted to keep learning, so he started riding seat to become confident and ready for the day when he'd be promoted to fire apparatus engineer. Well, the day is here. Congratulations, fire apparatus engineer Zabala. Always take care of your apparatus, your crew, and keep up the strong work. Now I have the pleasure of calling the person that wrote those bios about these people, who are they'll come up, they'll receive the collar, brass insignia, and a gift, and they'll have a moment with their person. Presenting Chris Brown is Lieutenant Cale Hamilton. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting Ryan Griffin. Chief Jeff Garreau will be presenting Sean Griffin. Kyle Quakenbush will be presented by Fire Apparatus Engineer Scott Edwards. And Fire Apparatus Engineer Sean Blood will be presenting Richard Zabala. Now, if you all would pin our new engineers, please. Gentlemen, today you all are receiving new collar insignias, new titles, and new responsibilities. None of these should be taken lightly. You are now the bridge between the crew and the officer. You are the stone that will sharpen the new firefighter, the foundation that will support the veteran officer, and the glue that will hold the whole crew together. You are both the future and the shapers of the future. Make us proud. It is my honor to present Alpharetta's newest engineers. You're good. Thank you. Now we'll move to the lieutenants. The lieutenant is the first line supervisor and is responsible for engine company operations. They are also responsible for setting the direction and the tone for the day and guiding the crew through the complexities of an emergency scene and, if done properly, the complexities of a career. Being a good lieutenant is not easy. However, these men who you're about to see have earned this position and have what it takes to be successful in this role. The lieutenants are going to be receiving a radio strap. It's designed to allow a firefighter to have his or her radio on them at all times, regardless of the situation. This is important because our ability to communicate is our lifeline, and without it, we're in a bad way. These lieutenants are getting a radio strap as a reminder that they are now responsible for thinking, directing, speaking to and for their crews. What and how they communicate is absolutely vital to their success. Bruce Hartman. Bruce has a true passion for serving people. You see it in his patient care, you see it in his excitement when doing training, and you see it in the way he treats his crewmates. He started in Alpharetta when he was just 21 years old, and watching him grow over the past 16 years has been an absolute honor. He has developed from a young firefighter who may have occasionally been known to practice WWF moves while jumping off of the hazmat trailer onto a mattress on the bay floor, allegedly. And he has grown into a fine lieutenant that leads with passion and genuine caring for his crew. Bruce's love for the fire service is only surpassed by his love and devotion to his wife, Kim, his daughter, Michaela, and his son, Mason. The fire service and Alpharetta are truly lucky to have such an ardent and dedicated servant. Paul David Palmer. Paul David Palmer got his humble start with the city of Alpharetta in 1999. From the beginning, he was super motivated and always wanting to better himself. All this makes sense due to him enlisting with the Marines in 1994 and then in the Army Reserve in 1998 with an honorable retirement in 2016. He obtained his paramedic certification in 2006, and it's easy to say that Dave's outgoing personality is truly the life of the station. Unless, of course, it's 3 a.m., then maybe he has a slightly different personality. His leadership and drive on and off the engine are what prepared him for his next step as a lieutenant. Some have said that being a leader isn't about being in charge. It's about caring for those who you're in charge of. If this is the case, we're in good hands. Mr. Bill Ziliak. Bill has been with the city of Alpharetta since 2005 when he started as a volunteer firefighter. In August 2006, Bill was hired full-time, coming from the corporate world. Needless to say, Bill was a little green when he started. Bill was assigned to Station 84, where on his first day, he couldn't change the bit on a cordless drill and told the captain that his wife handles that kind of stuff. Bill made it through a long first year and spent the majority of his career as a firefighter, a fire apparatus operator, and a valued member of the hazmat team at Station 84. He was assigned to Captain Holston, who always said, "Bill was like the son I never wanted." There, Bill grew into a skilled and experienced firefighter and EMT. During his time at Station 84, Bill was decorated with the Medal of Honor for risking his life to locate and remove a victim from a large house fire. He was also decorated with the Firefighter of the Year for 2014, along with several life save awards. In 2017, Bill was promoted to interim fire apparatus engineer, and in 2018, he was fully promoted to fire apparatus engineer, where he's currently serving at Station 85. Congratulations, Bill, for becoming the trusted leader that you are today and on your well-deserved promotion to lieutenant. I have the honor of presenting Bruce with his. Presenting Dave Palmer will be fire apparatus engineer Josh Kamen. And Captain Matt Holston will present Bill Ziliak. Too late now, Bill. If you all please pin our new lieutenants. They do that on purpose, just to challenge you. Sure. Maybe next time we'll pre-drill the shirts. But we won't have Bill use the cordless drill. Excellent. Gentlemen, you all are now responsible for the actions and inactions, the successes, the failures, the safety, and the well-being of your crews. Each day when you put your radio on, I want you to think about the commitment you are making to your crews, to their families, and to our departmental family. They deserve your best. Never settle for giving them any less. It's my honor to present Alpharetta's newest fire lieutenants. All right. Captains. The captain is the senior station officer and is responsible for the daily operations of his or her station and is looked at to be the expert in the many skills firefighters are responsible for. Equally as important, they are responsible for motivating, guiding, and coaching their people, as well as providing insight into departmental operations and direction. A good captain is a role model, a boss, an arbiter, a mentor, and a friend. One of the most pivotal responsibilities of the captain, you may not know, is deciding when dinner time is, which we all do, right? 5:30, well done, thank you. The captains are receiving a leather helmet, a red leather helmet. The leather helmet is a ubiquitous symbol of a firefighter. It's a tradition that reaches back to the earliest days of our profession and instantly speaks of bravery, integrity, honor, pride. As captains, you all must be the keepers of this tradition and of these qualities. You must ensure that your crews embody these values and bring honor to the profession and those who came before us and made it what it is. This leather helmet is a physical connection to our collective past and should serve as a daily reminder of the expectations you should strive to live up to. Matt Bozer. Watching someone grow and develop is always amazing, but seeing Matt become an officer was somewhat different. Like any hidden gem that is found, polishing the edges is required so that they may shine. Even some of the best gems need more than others, more polishing than others to reveal their true potential. Matt has an extreme amount of knowledge and truly understands the fire service. He has a passion for the department. Very subtle, Matt. Thank you. He has a passion for the department that cannot be contained, a genuine care for our people, and a desire to develop others. He exemplifies the type of officer we need to move forward and build our organization's future. Our department is lucky to have Matt as a station captain, moving forward and watching him shine. Nick Marlin. Nick is known as a man of the highest character and integrity. Each day he pushes himself to the point of exhaustion to maintain physical readiness to serve the members of our community. Nick works continuously to develop his skills and abilities so that he can serve as a leader to those around him. Countless individuals within our organization have benefited from Nick's motivation and passion for physical fitness. He has spent countless hours training and coaching many of us to become better firefighters. During this time, his leadership and positive influence made us better men. Adam Wade. When Adam joined Alpharetta, he brought knowledge and previous experience with him. Anyone around him knew that it was evident that he was going to excel and move up the ranks quickly. His stature makes his presence known on the scene and around the station. However, the resonating voice of his qualities and abilities has made the biggest impression. Adam became an informal leader at the station, serving as a voice for the crew when they had concerns or ideas. Because of this, he quickly earned the respect and trust of many within the organization. His leadership presence, not his towering stature, will become a pillar of the department in the future. We are incredibly fortunate to have him as a station captain and to be shaping the newest generation of firefighters. Presenting Matt Bozer will be Chief Jeff Garreau. Presenting Nick Marlin will be Captain Greg Pickren. And presenting Adam will be Chief Jeff Garreau. If you all would, please pin our captains. Gentlemen, you are now in a position of senior leadership. I want you to focus on those two words for a moment, senior and leadership. There's a great deal of weight in those two words. Our department is relying on you to not only be technical experts in the myriad aspects of our job, but to also lead by example. You are the driving force and the compass for your crew. Each day when you don this helmet, I want you to pause for a moment and think about the crew that you're serving and the honored past that you're representing, and always ensure that your decisions and actions make both proud. Alpharetta's newest fire captains. fire marshal is responsible for promoting fire prevention and life safety through the enforcement of state fire safety standards. The fire marshal must have an astute attention to detail, as well as a patient and calm demeanor. Serving as fire marshal is not always an easy task, but is very rewarding when a project is completed or a fire and life safety system has functioned as intended. The white helmet has long been worn by chief officers. It is easily recognizable and stands out even amidst the craziness of a fire scene. It has become synonymous with experience, knowledge, and calm composure. Each day when you're working through your daily challenges, look at this helmet and reflect how our community looks to you for guidance and wisdom. Ethan Talbot. I was humbled and honored when asked to write a few words about Ethan today. Ethan is an amazing leader, husband, and friend who brings wisdom and knowledge to the fire marshal's office. Over the past few years, I've watched Ethan grow in his leadership style and create a strong, positive, and supportive culture in the fire marshal's office. I have no doubt that under his leadership, the fire marshal's office will continue to support the citizens as well as the members of fire suppression with top-notch service and proactive processes. It's an absolute honor and privilege to see him promoted today. And presenting Ethan will be Chief Philip Seabolt. Chief, in your role, you'll find yourself interacting with any number of people outside our department, citizens, contractors, decision makers. And while you must always balance their requests and needs, never forget that your focus as a leader must always be on your people. Focus on serving your people, and in turn, let your people serve the people. It's my honor to present our newest Fire Marshal, Ethan Talbot. The training chief is responsible for determining and fulfilling the training needs of our department. This is rarely an easy job, nor is it often a popular job, as it often involves having difficult conversations with people and helping them learn and grow in ways that they are sometimes resistant to, especially firefighters. This vital role, though, steers the competency, the safety, the performance, the efficacy, and the very reputation of the department. The weight of this leather helmet is considerable, and if you're not prepared for it, it can be uncomfortable and hard to handle. Likewise, the weight of leadership is considerable and should not be approached capriciously. Every day, I want you to look at this helmet. I want you to pick it up, I want you to feel the weight, and I want you to really think about the gravity of your position and the leadership commitment that you are making to our people. Jeff Garreau. When I started with the City of Alpharetta Fire Department in the summer of 2013, I was initially assigned to Station 3 on B shift with Jeff Garreau as one of two captains who were in charge. I remained there with him as my officer for just over 7 years. When I was asked to be present at the promotional ceremony and write a few words for him, I started thinking back through the years and all the things I learned from him and the good times we had. One event really stands out that I believe sums up exactly who this man is as an officer in this department. It was a cold morning in early 2014. He had us conducting a quarterly pre-plan, and we were on top of an office building when we came across the tie-off locations that the window washers utilize, and the discussion was brought up by Captain Garreau on how we could use these if needed in an event of a fire for a quick escape from the roof or a safety line or for whatever reason we may need. We all kind of looked at each other, rolled our eyes, and laughed, but I soon learned that this was typical Garreau, and he always went above and beyond on anything he did. More importantly, he strived for everyone on his crew to be the best they could be. The point of this story is that there were 7 guys total on the roof that morning with Captain Garreau in charge and the other 6 of us around. Of those 6 guys, 3 have now been promoted to captain, 1 has been promoted to lieutenant, 1 has been promoted to engineer, and the 6th is no longer with the department. I know every one of us on that roof that morning has learned something from him that helped us develop professionally and move forward in our own careers. This is just a small number of people who have been promoted under his direction over the years, but in my opinion, that shows exactly what kind of officer he really is and will continue to be. It's my honor and privilege to be standing beside him today to present this white helmet to Alpharetta Fire's newest training chief, Jeff Garreau. Scott, will you come up? That was written by fire apparatus engineer Scott Edwards. Chief, we are all trusting you to set the standard, to challenge us, to continually grow and develop us so that when we are called on, we perform second to none. My challenge to you is simple. Demand our best and never accept anything less. Presenting Alpharetta Fire Department's Training Chief, Jeff Garreau. Ladies and gentlemen, the fire department has always been and should always be a family. Thank you very much for making the time to be with us today and for making our family complete. Looking at everyone who came here today, I am unbelievably excited about our future, and I hope you all are too. And now I'd love to invite you to join us directly across the hall for some light fellowship, or some light refreshments and fellowship, or light fellowship, whichever. Thank you all for being here.